There have been studies by McKinsey, for example, even back in 2013, where it was forecasted that 70% of organizations fail to effectively do digital transformation. And that percentage is presumably even higher in recent studies. So I would like us to unpack this a bit further. So perhaps, Munir, why do you think this is the case that these organizations have not been able to effectively go through this digital transformation process?
Yes, there are obviously several different reasons to that. But what I keep hearing from colleagues in both other industries and other roles is typically that once you start treating digital transformation as a project, or just some sort of change management project, that's when many of those companies fail. That's when I think a lot of this really goes wrong. That some leaders believe that it's just about implementing some technology and let's go ahead. Because if you think about it, you could sit there and say, well, our employees are not ready yet and they're maybe not that digital, but any of you in the audience right now or in the panel, I mean, we are all having a smartphone, we are all on high-speed mobile internet. Well, so if you think about it, everything is really in place for a great digital lifestyle nowadays. But the question is, why aren't the corporates following suit? And that's the question we should ask ourselves.
Maybe I'll just bring in Ray for a moment because Munir talked about the fact that leaders are lacking that strategic understanding about how to do digital transformation. Ray, you pretty much do that in your work. You think you want to mention, add on a bit about that?
Yes, thank you, Sophia. I'd like to take off from Munir's point. No, that digital transformation should be seen in a holistic manner. And in my definition earlier, I said that digital transformation is it's all about strategy, and a successful execution of strategy entails three components. One is the digital transformation strategy. Two is the execution of that digital transformation strategy. And third is the culture behind it. Now, strategy, what is the digital transformation strategy? Now, it has to be cohesive. It has to be cohesive in nature. Implementing an ERP is not digital transformation. It has to be part of a whole. It has to be part of the digitization and digital transformation of the whole company. So implementing one-point solution, it is not digital transformation.
Randy, what do you think are the common misperceptions that people or employees have when it comes to the digital workplace or a digital company?
Okay, let me. I'll come to your question. Let me comment on a few points that Monir and Ray said, so that it will kind of align with what you're asking. So, like Monir was mentioning about the way COVID impacted, right? I mean, and actually it fast forwarded digital transformation. It was blessing in disguise for many companies because that digital transformation journey kind of got fast forwarded. And the positive thing about this is that the whole change management aspect of it became easier. The folks who would have found it difficult to adopt to the digital world, they kind of became more open to it, and they started adopting the digital transformation part of it. So the human aspect that we are talking about, actually, in some sense, COVID positively impacted them. They became more open to adopting digital technology. That is one part I want to talk. The second part I want to talk about what Ray was talking about, the comprehensive approach. Now, what I've seen, and this is something that Munir and Ray were talking about, is that you need to have a very well-defined approach on the digital strategy and the digital implementation. Unfortunately, what I've seen is that there is nothing like that, as it has been pointed out. There is no thought behind it. I'll give an interesting example. It's a real example in one of the companies where we are setting up the social networking platform and all this. We've been working extensively with the company. And one fine day, what happened was that suddenly the CIO, the IT team decided that we will have a different platform. So we've been training employees on a specific platform, or the culture change, all these things was done, everything went fine.